Within my daily workflow, I normally start my work from the dashboard, like we've talked about at this point. But once I've finished everything that's on my dashboard, I move on to the Neutralize perspective. And essentially, all that this Neutralize perspective is simply a focused view on a specific project that I have in my system called Neutralize. And the whole point of that particular project is to show me the items that I have in my normal daily life that simply need to be kept up to date. It simply keeps me neutral. It keeps me from getting behind. So simple things like scanning in the paper pile, giving the dog a haircut, making sure that all of my passwords are strong. That's ultimately what it's designed to do. So if I were to go over here and let's switch over to the project view here. So you can see here, if you look in the sidebar under singles, I have a single actions project called Neutralize, and this is the full list of the items that I have in that project. This is a pure copy paste from the real system over here, so you can see exactly what I normally operate off of. A lot of these could probably be put into like the house and car single actions list. There's a lot of these that could potentially move into other locations within the system. Personally, I like to be able to see these all in one place. I don't really know why. I just like to be able to see, here's all the things that I do on a normal basis that help me keep my general life up to date. So one thing you'll notice here is that every single one of these items has a repeat functionality tied to it. It's a variety of things between the defer anothers and the repeat everys. None of these are the do again, but they all have some sort of repeating cycle to them. And that's because they all need to happen on a recurring cycle in order to, keep life up to date. And that's the whole purpose of this particular perspective. So if we go back to the Neutralize perspective itself, and then let's take a look at the settings for this. So I've done very little to this perspective as far as editing what a default perspective would be. It stays on the context view. It's ungrouped. I want them sorted by project just because there's so few of them. It doesn't really matter what order they're in. I leave the layout the same. If I go on down to the filtering and the focus area, I have made one change to the filtering, and that's simply to show the availability as available. So you can see that I've edited that. And then the focus down here towards the bottom, I do have it focused on that Neutralize perspective. That's it. That's all that's to this particular perspective. And it's only there to help me see the items that I need to keep myself up to date with. And like I said at the very beginning, whenever I get done with my dashboard items for the day, this is where I go next. So I want to make sure that the items I've decided I'm going to do today are finished. Once I have those finished, then I turn my attention to bringing myself completely up to date for the day, making sure everything is clear to neutral, as the folks at Asian Efficiency would say. I want to make sure that everything is clean, ready to go, and then if I happen to get through all of these items and I still have more time in the day, I will move over to the contexts view of OmniFocus and begin to work from any and every context I feel like working from. It really doesn't matter at that point because I've accomplished the items that I've set aside for myself for that day. I've got everything neutralized, and I can move about doing anything I want, knowing that the important stuff is done for that day.